Stick around to find out how many loads I shot during this movie. No, cut that out. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Movie Epidemic show. Today on the show, we're talking about some Cuff docs. That's the Calgary Underground Film Festival Docs edition. This one played at Fantasia, and as you know, I covered Fantasia, but I avoided all the docs because I figured some of them would be picked up by this very festival, and this one and the Tiny Tim one did. So we're going to be talking about those. But first up, we've got Morgana. Morgana is the story, very inspiring story of a 50-year-old housewife who turned porn star. This Australian woman grew up in mining town, not really kind of like small town stuff, conservative background. Basically, her parents just wanted to marry her off, and, you know, she did the housewife thing for most of her life, had the children, unfulfilled, husband didn't fuck her for 12 years. And this is kind of a crazy story where she decided to buy like a high-class escort, have one fuck, and then kill herself. And fortunately, the dick gave her the will to live. And I know this is kind of a crass explanation for this, but that is kind of what happened. Her sexual awakening gave her the will to live. And within this documentary, you kind of see a lot of her work. It's very art porn. It feels, honestly, her pornography movies feel a lot more like Italian art house movies than actual pornography. I was watching this documentary, and they do show, this is our first witch finger of the festival. There is a lot of giant dicks in this. They do show the porn almost in full a lot of times. To me, I was more interested in the actual filmmaking, to be honest, because it is very abstract stuff. And I think your mileage will vary seeing this 50-year-old woman get boned down. If this is your kind of thing, I think you might learn something and also be a little aroused during this, because they really do show a lot of... this is some NC-17 shit. They really show... her full vagina and tits a lot. So once she decides to get into making porn, she kind of gets her films into these, specifically the Berlin Porn Film Festival. I've personally never been invited to that film festival, but I know a lot of film festivals like to get in contact with me to cover it. So if the Berlin Porn Film Festival wants to get in touch with me, we can arrange that. And it is like a very sad story at points, because her children want to live with her father. Her parents essentially disown her. She ends up moving from Australia to Berlin. But the unfortunate thing about this specific genre, this kind of art porn with a 50-year-old woman, doesn't seem to be much money in it, and she ends up losing a lot of money, I think, living off her divorce settlement and ending up in like a swirl of depression. And I think it's a really good example of how even if you're living the life you think you want to, you can't really avoid those dark spirals. And she is a very creative woman. As you can see on the poster, the spiderweb rope thing is like her 50th birthday porno. And it's like really beautiful and really like interesting, good work. Like, I think she actually is a very creative being that never got to experience this. Like, even if it wasn't from a sexual standpoint, I think she does have a lot of creativity that's never really been expressed probably in her life, just being a stay-at-home mom or whatever. It's not always a pleasant watch, but it is an inspirational story, and I am really rooting for Morgana throughout this film. She ends up having to move back to Australia and working in the dildo store, but that's a good place to work, in my opinion. Continuing her filmmaking stuff when she gets the chance. I think it is a good, inspiring doc, and certainly worth a watch. I'm going to give this one 3 stars. So if you want to see this one, if you have seen this one, drop it in the comments below. Also, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Movie Epidemic. And don't forget to click like and subscribe. We'll be seeing you guys tomorrow for some more docs.
Why don't you play us something, baby? Why don't you play us something, baby?
Start? I don't feel so good.